This is Forest of Hawthorn, Lesson 5, Death and Transition. Generally, witches believe in reincarnation, and that when we die we go to the Summerlands, or somewhere similar with a different name. Summerlands tends to be a Wiccan name. Now this is a bit of generalisation, but I will share my thoughts with you. Do you ever get that feeling that you're remembering something rather than learning it? I've done that a lot within the craft, and I firmly believe that it's because I've lived before, many lifetimes in fact. I also know that with some of my friends and sisters and brothers within the craft, that we have met before in other lifetimes. It's that feeling of familiarity when you meet someone new. The other world, the Summerlands, or the Isle of Avalon are a few of the names. I do believe that it will appear to each person differently. However we perceive the other world will be how it manifests to us. I don't personally believe in a hell. I do believe that each soul has been on the planet to learn and to grow. If that person has done something terrible in life, they will move on from that once they reach the other world. In some religions, it seems that the idea of reincarnation is a chore, a punishment for not living the best life the last time. I prefer to see it as a cycle of learning and growing. To me, the other world is where our spirit, our essence, goes when we die. To me, it is the Isle of Avalon. The spirit exists there in harmony with others, spirits we have known in the life we have just left, and those that we have known in past lives. Then, when the time is right, when there is suitable new life ready for us, we live again to learn a new lesson. We have to go through these different lives to learn and to grow. The idea of the Isle of Avalon as the other world makes perfect sense to me. A trip in a small wooden boat, paddled by a dark cloaked ferryman across the water to the magical isle to meet my ancestors. That suits me fine. But as I say, everyone will see it differently. Life, death, and rebirth are a cycle, and for me, I see it as a never ending one. That's not to say I'm not scared of death, because I sure am. But I do wonder if those with a faith, a belief of any sort in the afterlife, are perhaps more comfortable with the end when it comes. Because I'm a huge Terry Pratchett fan, I'm going to mention his fictional Discworld, because I think he captures death in an interesting way. Death in the Discworld is a skeleton with glowing blue eyes and dressed in a black cloak, with the obligatory scythe, of course. He rides a white horse called Binky and lives in the other world in a house where everything is shades of black, including the garden. He is served by Pixie Albert, but that's a whole other story. What I love about Death in Discworld is the idea that he has a room full of glass, sand-filled timers. As a new life comes into being, the timer appears filled with a set amount of sand. Once the sand runs out, then Death turns up to collect the soul. He also has a room full of books. Each person has their own book, and their life is continually written on each page until it stops. Those who follow a Norse belief may call the afterlife Valhalla, which is Hall of the Slain, or Folkvangra, Field of the Host. Once there, you aid the gods in the war to end all wars, which is Ragnarok. Tir na Nog is the name given to those who follow a Celtic path, which translates as the land of youth. It is a realm that lies across the water that a soul journeys to. Once there, you can expect a bit of a continual party. Hellenic practitioners will see it as Hades, which shares the name with the god. Tales tell that this place is a bit dark and dank, while others suggest that it is a peaceful resting place. Each pagan pathway has its own way into the other world. As I mentioned before, the Celts will journey on a boat through the mists to the Isle of Avalon. For the Egyptian pathway, you will meet the god Anubis, who will decide if you are worthy to enter the underworld. For Norse or heathens, you may deal with Freya. She likes to take on those that die in battle and go with her, or walk beside Odin to Valhalla. The goddess Hel deals with people who die from old age or illness. She takes you to her hall, excuse me, Aljudna. Homework. This lesson is deliberately short because it is such a personal thing. Your homework is to research various beliefs in the afterlife and reincarnation and write about them in detail. 2. Then, if you are happy to do so, share with us your own thoughts on what the other world is to you. And homework for each lesson should be emailed to your mentor, Ness or Heather, support@kitchenwitchhearth.net.